Hello, Earl Pugh here. Um, this is Flatpicking and Counting 2. In this video, we will play quarter notes and eighth notes in the same measure. In the last video, Flatpicking and Counting 1, we only played one type of note in each measure. So we either played a whole note in each measure, or two half notes, or four quarter notes, or eight eighth notes. So this will be a little more advanced. Once again, I recommend that you use a metronome that goes click as opposed to a drum machine. It's very important to be able to tap your foot with the metronome. So we're going to set the metronome at 80. We're going to use a C scale, and we'll be in 4/4 time. So we've got the metronome clicking. And I urge you, before you play the guitar, to get your foot tapping. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then get your hands clapping in sync with the metronome. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to use the C scale. We're going to use one measure per note. So it's going to be 16 measures long. 8 notes up, 8 notes back down. Some of my students are very accurate at tapping their foot and clapping their hands for 2 measures, and then they start to drift. So it might seem silly, but you really should make sure that you can stay with the metronome for a full 16 measures. So just keeping it simple, clapping and tapping the foot on the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, when you're comfortable with that, then you should clap eighth notes with your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So it's as soon as your hands are not in sync with the foot and the metronome, you've got the foot going down on 1 and up on and then down on 2 and up on and. So, but the metronome's clicking a straight 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not playing the ands. This is why we don't want a drum machine. The drum machine will play those eighth notes for you. Then you don't need to determine where they are. The drum machine's doing all the work. The idea of this actually clapping the eighth notes is so that you will internalize the time. You're responsible for where the ands are. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we want to clap the hands first in quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3, 4. Then in eighth notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So my advice is to not skimp on that particular step. Spend a few minutes and make sure that you're really locked in with the metronome. So we're going to go straight to quarter notes and eighth notes. And please watch Flatpicking and Counting 1 and play the whole notes, play the half notes. So the quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And back down. So when we play the quarter notes, the pick is going down on the number and the foot is going down on the number. And then the pick is going to miss the string on the way up, but that's the and. So we've got, whether we're playing quarter notes or eighth notes, it doesn't matter. The pick is going down on a number and up on an and. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So now we'll hit the string in both directions for the eighth notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Back down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So there we had first quarter notes on the beat. Then we had eighth notes. Down, up, down, up. Now we're going to have we're going to mix them. We're going to put one quarter note in the measure of eighth notes. So we want to put the quarter note on 1 and the eighth notes on 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the pick will go down on 1, then it will go up on and, but it will miss the string. Then it will go down, up, down, up, down, up, and hit the strings in both directions. So we'll get 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we had even eighth notes, we had even quarter notes, and then we combined those together in one measure. So now we're going to get syncopation. Now it's very important that you get this 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and very even and very comfortable before you go to syncopation. So now we're going to hit the quarter note, but we're going to hit it on the and. So before, the quarter notes were lasting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now the quarter note will last 1 and 2. So a quarter note gets a number and an and. It gets both halves of the beat. So a quarter note could last and 2 or and 3 or and 4, or if you went over the bar line, it could last and 1. But whether it's syncopated, starting on an and, or whether it's straight and just playing quarter notes, starting on the number, either way, your pick is moving in the same direction. It's going down on a number and up on an and. So it's very important that the pick, whether it's playing quarter notes on the beat or quarter notes that start on the and, it's going down and up at the same time, and it's in sync with your foot. It's tempting to change how your foot taps when the quarter note starts on the and. Some people want to go down when a quarter note occurs, whether it's on a number or an and. This is a bad idea. Keep the foot on the beat, and keep the pick agreeing with the foot. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 3, and 4, and, or if we have the quarter note happening later, so we're going to have an eighth note, then a quarter note, and then 5 eighth notes. So we still have 6 eighth notes and 1 quarter note in the measure. So quarter note first, followed by 6 eighth notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. Now we're going to have an eighth note, followed by a quarter note that starts on and that will be followed by 5 eighth notes. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. So that quarter note, 1 and 2, that's syncopated. It's important that the pick and the foot and the metronome all agree regardless of what kind of a note it is. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. So now we're going to move that quarter note over 1 more eighth note. So we will have 2 eighth notes, then a quarter note, and then 4 eighth notes. So we will still have 1 quarter note and 6 eighth notes in the measure, but it will be different order. This quarter note will be starting on 2, so it will not be syncopated. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we could continue this. We could have now 3 eighth notes, then a quarter note, and then 3 more eighth notes. So we would once again be back to syncopation. So a syncopated quarter note and a quarter note that is not syncopated lasts the same amount of time, and your foot stays the same. It's just a question of whether you miss on a down or an up. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and... All right, now we're proceeding very logically here. So I urge you to do each of these exercises more than once, and also don't do them playing along with me because there's someone else doing the counting. Do it with just the metronome so that you are responsible for where the and is. Playing along with someone else doing the same rhythm is not as much work for your brain. It doesn't require you to count as carefully. You can just copy someone. But if you have just the metronome and you're having to play those syncopated quarter notes, you will be doing the processing. And now we've got 4 eighth notes and 1 quarter note, and then 2 eighth notes. So still 6 eighth notes in one measure and 1 quarter note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So now, once again, the next step would be to move that quarter note over by 1 more eighth note. So we will have 5 eighth notes, 1 quarter note, and then 1 eighth note. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I'd like to give a shout out to Giuliani and his 120 arpeggios. If you haven't played those, you should. They're available as PDFs on the internet, and there's a great book that's got them and a lot of other things in it that is worth the investment. Also, Bugs Bauer and Jazz Collin, who wrote a book called Rhythms, and also to William Levitt, who wrote Melodic Rhythms for Guitars. All of these books are valuable resources if you are interested in improving your time. So please consider buying one of them, or taking them out from the library, or just thinking more about the time. Many of my students are very good at reading notes, but as soon as they need to put in syncopation, their timing will throw off their notes. You know, they can sort of think about one thing or the other. It's more difficult to double task. So if you get it so you're comfortable with these quarter notes off the beat, that's sort of step one to getting more comfortable with more advanced and interesting rhythms. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. We've covered mixing quarter notes and eighth notes. We used first 4 quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we used 8 eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the idea was, even though the notes were happening faster, the pick speed and the foot speed did not change. And then we combined the 1 quarter note and 6 eighth notes in each measure. And once again, the idea is to keep the foot and the pick moving at a constant speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, now 1, 2, 3. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and please check back again next week and see what we've got in store. Have a good week. Thank you very much.